Finally, let me welcome a longtime friend that many of you know. He's the Secretary General of the Union Ranch Committee at Monterrey Mushrooms in Morgan Hill near San Jose. He's been at the company for at least 40 years now. Rogelio is here on behalf of UFW members at 75% of the California fresh mushroom industry protected by union contracts. Unionized mushroom workers like Rogelio average more than $40,000 a year in wages. Plus, they've got a generous medical, dental and vision benefits, a pension plan, paid holidays and vacations, and much more. They get more than I do. It's great. Rogelio recently received the Cesar Chavez Legacy Award during a ceremony at the White House with President Obama. Now, please give a warm welcome to Rogelio Lara, who is speaking on behalf of all the union members and other farm workers who are living the legacy today. Rogelio.
Buenos días. Good morning. My name is Rogelio Lara, and I am the General Secretary of the Monterrey Ranch Committee. As well, I've been on the negotiations committee where we negotiate our contract. I have been working at Monterrey Morgan Hill for 40 years, picking mushrooms. In behalf of all of the current contract members and the worker leaders to the country, I would like to thank the strikers. The strikers show us the value and the courage needed to take the risks to improve farm workers' conditions. In my workplace, we use their extraordinary example to create necessary changes, such as when in 1981 we make a decision to go on a strike, and we were on a strike for 96 days. At the end, we won the first contract. We now have 9 paid holidays, up to 6 weeks of paid vacations. Family medical, family dental, family vision, a pension plan, annual wage increase, and seniority. But the most important thing for us was the respect and dignity that we get with the contract. In 1998, we faced a tremendous challenge in negotiations. The company management shut down the company for 6 months. We lost our jobs and money for 6 months. We called Cesar Chavez for help, and he figured out a way to keep talking and got the company to start working again. As a leader in my company, I have done house meetings, work stoppage, march, and other protests to improve our contract. That we have with Monterrey Mushrooms. With all of those examples, the Cesar and all of you provides us, we have found the tools to continue improving our living conditions. Por el valor que ustedes tuvieron en el 65, nos enseñaron a tomar valor y no tener miedo para seguir luchando y mejorando las condiciones de vida para nosotros los campesinos y nuestras familias. ¡Sí se puede!
There are many more farm worker heroes of today and other companies under UFW contract who are not here. For example, Gallo Sonoma, the biggest winery in America, to Chateau San Michel, the largest winery in Washington State, to 3 Mile Canyon, one of the biggest dairies in Eastern Oregon. They come from different crops, different parts of California, and different states. But all of them have one thing in common. They owe a deep debt of gratitude to the pioneers of the 1965 Delano Grape strike. So, muchísimas gracias otra vez a todos ustedes que están aquí con nosotros este día. There are countless other workers, mostly at non-union ranches. We owe you a debt of gratitude because they have won new legislative, regulatory, and legal protections through the UFW. Many lives have been saved since 2005 when the UFW convinced then-Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger to issue the first state heat standards in the nation to help prevent farm workers from dying or getting ill from extreme temperatures. Many more lives are going to be saved because farm workers partnering with the UFW settled a lawsuit in the state of California this spring that is boosting enforcement of those heat rules. Thousands of farm workers outside of union contracts are benefiting because the UFW helped them file the class action suits after being cheated out of their pay because of wage and hour violations and because of sex discrimination. One of those lawsuits over wage theft is being settled for $4.5 million this year at Sunview Vineyards, and we're very grateful for those workers. We also have with us table grape workers who are working and fighting for those wage lawsuits. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes que están aquí con nosotros este día. María Cervantes, Miguel Díaz y Catalino Robles. Muchas gracias. Because more than half of all U.S. farm workers are undocumented, the UFW has helped lead the national fight for immigration reform. The UFW negotiated with the big grower associations to fashion the farm labor provisions of the bipartisan immigration reform bill that passed the U.S. Senate on a bipartisan vote in 2013, before House Republicans killed it. It would have allowed over 1 million immigrant farm workers and their immediate family members earn the right to permanently stay here in the United States. We also worked closely with the White House and President Obama on the executive order he issued in November. A sister organization, the UFW Farm Worker Movement, the UFW Foundation, is actively helping thousands of farm workers and other poor immigrants with legal representation and preparing to assert their immigration rights. With globalization transforming agriculture, the UFW works now beyond the borders of the United States, across Mexico, Central and South America, to boost farm worker pay and protections across state and national boundaries. In 2008, we founded a consortium of unions, consumer and environmental groups, growers, and major buyers, all working through the Equitable Food Initiative to produce safer, higher quality food in ways that significantly raise wages and protections for farm workers. All the sacrifices and the shining example of the veterans from '65 made possible these and many other gains the farm workers of today already enjoy or are fighting to win. So from all of us in the United Farm Workers of America and the Farm Worker Movement, to all of you who began the struggle in 1965, we say thank you. We say muchísimas gracias, 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 y sí se puede.
Un gran aplauso nuevamente para el querido presidente del Sindicato de Campesinos, el señor Arturo Rodríguez.
All right, thank you so much to our leader, Arturo Rodriguez. Let's give him a round of applause one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Tantos orgullos latinos, so much pride today, and we are just very honored to be part of this. It's a day that we will never forget. And once again, thank you so much for making this possible. Thank you so much for everything that you have done, for the farm worker movement, for this country. Thank you for your sacrifice, because that's what it is. It was a big sacrifice. We really acknowledge it, and we appreciate it, and we thank you and love you for that, always. And now we begin the ceremony honoring the sisters and brothers, speaking of courage and sacrifice. We'll get to that, but first we have two other people that we need to thank and welcome.
Yes, we have some special guests with us as well. We have a Board of Trustees member, Arturo Solis, Sweetwater Union High School District. Let's give him a round of applause.
Bienvenido.
Thank you so much for being here.
Bienvenido, ya las tenemos acá.
We also have National City Council member, Alejandro Sotelo Solis.
Señor Solis.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And Ray Gonzalez, the first Latino elected assembly, served in the first Brown administration, United States embassies in Guatemala.
Allá está Ray González. Acaba de ser elegido a la mesa directiva de la Bakersfield City School District. So welcome Ray. Y muchísimas gracias también a todos nuestros líderes y a todas las personas, nuestros invitados especiales que están aquí el día de hoy. We'd like to welcome all of you and thank you. All the people that are here from other states and other cities, in other countries, really, so it's our pleasure, and thank you so much for being here today to celebrate our honorees, to celebrate our friends. And now, we begin the ceremony honoring the sisters and brothers whose personal courage and sacrifice over 5 difficult years of striking and boycotting ended in victory. Sí se pudo. Created also the first enduring farm workers union in our nation's history. The honorees are strikers, boycotters, marchers, and full-time union staff. Some hail from all 4 categories. And at this time, we will hear from one of the representatives speaking on behalf of each category of the honorees.